You know, I try very hard in my day to day to never have to talk about Andrew Tate. And yet, here I am having to speak about the man, the myth, the legend. No, I'm joking. I'm being hyperbolic and facetious, as I oftentimes do. I don't care about Andrew Tate at all. At all. Like, whether he was a human trafficker or not, cool, that's bad. I don't care about him at all. I have to preface this video by saying this. You could not care about a human being less than I care about Andrew Tate. I'm talking about Satan. If you're an abortionist, you couldn't care about aborted babies less than I care about Andrew Tate. But once again, I finalize my preface by saying it's no shocker that I don't care about Andrew Tate. And I say all that to say that he has been in the news for the past couple of days, as he usually is, for some stupid, very arbitrary reason. And this time, it's no different, as you would imagine. This time, he is in the news because he was arrested in Romania for, I don't even know what. I don't know what he was officially arrested for. Fortunately, that's not the point of this video. I don't have to know what he was arrested for. I don't have to know what his current status is. I don't have to know whether he's in Romania or not. I don't have to know what his ethnic background is. I don't have to know whether or not he's human trafficking people, because I don't care. But even more so than that, there are so many lies, so many false narratives, so many different incentives and players trying to manipulate information in regards to this man, whether in positive for his benefit or negative to his detriment, including himself, that I, a person who has my own life, my own goals, and my own ambitions, can't care about. But what I can care about is the fact that we have to live in a world that is driven by such utter disinformation, utter lack of information, and a quickness to jump to conclusions and run with narratives that are not proven just because you feel some way about whether you like or dislike a person. If you've made it to this point in the video, you should know how I feel about Andrew Tate. None of the way that I personally feel about Andrew Tate means that I think that he should be subject to public execution by mob rule, because he's a not nice person. He's a meanie. And the reason that I can't support that for a person who I dislike is because if we do, that sets a precedent that could one day have somebody that we do like, or even our own heads, on the chopping block. So, me personally, I am mean-spirited. I am not a nice person. And I do like to say things that are not perceived as positive. You know how they say, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all? Well, I have a theory about that. And the people who say that only say that because they aren't good or articulate and eloquent enough to express their negative opinions in an appropriate fashion. But fortunately, I am. And even more so than that, I have the wherewithal and the means and the fortitude to stand up for anything that I say or do or believe in. And am willing to take it to the furthest extent, okay, in order to live the life that I believe that I should be able to. Sometimes that makes me a target to certain groups of people who don't like people who express and exercise those levels of freedom, verbally, physically, or in any manner. If I feed the beast somebody like an Andrew Tate just because I don't like them, then I am making the beast stronger, and I am validating the way that they operate. And when I say the beast, I mean media, the narrative of the general public that is being used for mob rule mentality, which has been processed and put into policies and laws. For example, the jab that we all took or didn't take over the past 2 years. For YouTube's sake, I'm not going to get into that. Let's just say there were incentives in the air for people to be upset with other people for not blindly following along with what was the current thing that was socially accepted. Even if those people had valid arguments. So much so that even now, up to this point, we are questioning what we can even talk about, even when just opining about the situation, for fear of having our visibility filtered and limited. Right now. And in the same spirit of that, the same spirit that makes it so that I have to talk and double speak, double think. I can't say somebody KILL'd themselves. I have to say they deleted, self-deletion, removed from life. Like, the reason that we have to walk through all these things isn't because it's not nice to say that somebody KILLED'd themselves. There is no difference from saying that to just self-deletion. There is no actual, this is nice and that is mean. It's all control of our words and what we're saying. And they use people like Andrew Tate, people like me, nasty people, to get you used to and accustomed to allowing them to remove people based off of guilt in the court of public opinion. And that is something that I cannot stand for at any level. And it's funny because people like Jordan Peterson used to represent that to me until people like Jordan Peterson start commanding that anonymous people or people on social medias or anti-Semites or whatever don't deserve to have the freedom to speak, even though they've been called the same thing when it comes to the trans community, transphobes, this, that, and the other. It really lets you understand that people only fight for these causes when it's convenient to them. And there's a difference between fighting for a cause when it's convenient to you or not caring about something that doesn't apply to your life at all. Like, let's say, for example, bras. The legality of bras or wearing bras in the workplace. That is a rule that it doesn't impact me very much at all. So I should have very little room to care about, right? But if I sat there and tried to actively say that the people who had a problem with the current rules for bras or against the rules for bras, if I sat there and said, oh, those people don't even deserve a platform to talk about something just because it doesn't matter to me, that would make me no better than the oppressors who are trying to arbitrarily place rules on people. So it's one thing to get this from the general public. The general public loves this kind of stuff. That is the point. That's the metaphor of Frankenstein, is that mob mentality exists within all of us. And when we see a monster, it's very easy for us to come together and go crazy. It's something extra when you believe that the monster exists, but you're willing to feed enemies to the monster, meaning censorship, and let things like false narratives about human trafficking or whatever lies. I can't tell you what's true and I can't tell you what's fake about the Andrew Tate situation. But that's the point, is that it makes it a lot harder to determine what is true and what is fake when everybody is so readily eager to go with false narratives. So let's stop altogether at one now.